There's a part of Toronto that almost nobody makes videos about. It doesn't trend. It's not on the hot neighborhood list. And if you spent the last 2 years watching detached houses climb out of reach in the parts of the city everyone does talk about, that silence is costing you money right now. Because while buyers pile into the same 5 or 6 names and bid each other up, this pocket sits 20 minutes away with bigger lots, similar schools, and prices hundreds of thousands of dollars lower. I'm Bob, I sell homes here, and today I'm going to show you why Lamoureux might be the most underrated neighborhood in the city, and honestly, who should stay away from it. First, let's deal with why you've barely heard of it, because that reason is the whole opportunity. If you skip this part, you keep dismissing the exact area that can get your family into a detached house. Lamoureux doesn't have a subway stop. It doesn't have a glossy main street with a name people recognize. It was built quietly in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and then it just worked for decades without needing to sell itself. Winding tree-lined streets, bungalows and splits and 2-story homes on lots that mostly run 40 to 70 feet wide, sidewalks, families who've stayed 30 years. So the thing that keeps Lamoureux off the list is the same thing that keeps it affordable. No subway stop, no hype, no bidding frenzy from people chasing a headline. You pay for the house here, plain and simple, with none of the buzz, premium, trendy names tack on. Now let's make affordable mean something, because the word is useless until you see what the money actually buys. Get this part wrong and you compare the wrong things and talk yourself out of a good move. A detached home in Lamoureux runs somewhere around $1.1 million as of summer 2026, with Bridlewood next door closer to 1.3. Hold that number, because a lot of buyers looking here are also looking at Markham and North York. In Willowdale, that same detached house is closer to 2.1 million. In Markham, the average detached is around 1.6. So you're often looking at $300,000 less than Markham and closer to $800,000 to $1 million less than Willowdale for a comparable detached home on a comparable lot with the same run to the 401. That gap is real money. A finished basement or the difference between a bidding war and a home. So if you're sitting there doing this math for your own family, you probably want to know what your budget actually gets you on the ground in this pocket. Not a national average, just your budget in these streets. That's the conversation I have with people every week. There's a link below for a free no-pressure home search where I map your number to what's really selling here. Takes a few minutes. Anyway, let's talk schools, because for most families, this is the real deciding factor. And it is the one people research last and regret first. You've got Sir John and Macdonald Collegiate, the school I went to, right in the area, one of the top-ranked high schools in the whole province on the Fraser Institute report card, known for its gifted and advanced placement streams. There's Lamoureux Collegiate too, which runs an honors extended French program that leads to a bilingual certificate. And on the elementary side, Bridlewood Public scores near the top of Scarborough on the same testing. The honest version though, these scores track the neighborhoods as much as the classroom, and the catchment lines can move. So the school isn't the reason to overpay blindly. It's the reason to buy on the right side of the boundary, which is exactly the kind of thing a local checks before you fall in love with a house. Now I promised you honesty, so here's the part most agents won't say out loud. Lamoureux was wrong for some people, and if that's you, you better hear it now than after you've moved. If you need to be steps from a subway platform, this is in your pocket. If you want a walkable strip of cafes and nightlife out your front door, you'll be frustrated. This is buses in the 401 and a 5-minute drive to almost everything, not a downtown lifestyle. But if what you actually want is space for a growing family, a yard, room for your parents, and a mortgage you can survive, and you're willing to drive a little for it, there are very few places in Toronto that give you this much house for this money. That's the trade. Quiet and a car in exchange for hundreds of thousands of dollars. For a lot of families, that's not a hard call. So I keep saying Lamoureux gives you more house for the money, but more is doing a lot of work in that sentence, and the truth is messier than a single average. There's a specific price band where the value is real, and a point where it quietly disappears. I broke that down in this next video where I show you exactly whether Lamoureux is the best value left in Toronto or just the cheapest. Watch that one next.